to the K.
To the K.
To the K. CM Punk suffers an injury and will miss WrestleMania.
That is true. Mercedes Mone is returning to the ring soon, but where?
Brock Lesnar pulled from the Royal Rumble match.
Well, more AEW stars are set to return to WWE. Find out who soon.
Not that the picture gives it away. Mustafa Ali signs with TNA.
Nice. Well, WWE officials are hoping to sign Stephanie McMahon back to the company.
Interesting. Anthony, when's all this coming
It's
up?
all coming up right freaking now.
Yes, it is. Short and sweet this week, I think. There's, quite a bit to talk about. And CM Punk just can't catch a break.
Well, he can.
He's on a real tear right now when it comes to his injury record. Yeah.
It's a bit of a sore spot, Carl.
It's shit for him, really, isn't it? Like,
yeah, I mean, as much whether you like the guy or hate the guy, he's come back. They've been setting up the story. He was obviously, we can say obviously now because no one's going to be able to prove me wrong. He was obviously going to, use the Chamber pay-per-view as a mechanism to main event Mania. Finally, and bam, or something, didn't
he did, yeah.
Yeah. Shame.
I think it was in the middle of the Rumble match when Drew McIntyre hit him with the Future Shock DDT, landed weird on his arm, tore his tricep.
True. Yeah.
Not ideal. But yeah, I can't help but feel sorry for the guy. He was very whimsy and happy to return to the AEW, to Battle Wrestling with AEW, and then he got injured twice. First when he won the title, then again when he won the title. And then it looked like...
And now he's getting near the title.
He's getting near the title, and they're like, no, this time, we're not going to make you drop it, you're just not going to get it. But he cuts quite a somber promo on Raw, didn't he? Basically just saying maybe you'll never get the chance to main event WrestleMania. Maybe it's just not in the cards.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
you know what that means?
In a weird way, like it'll make this. You don't want him to get injured, but it'll kind of make the story more fulfilling.
Exactly.
If that's the case.
Now it's a story. So CM Punk will have to finish the story, won't he?
Yeah.
So it's just going to be that regurgitated for the next couple of years.
Well, I just hope Cody finishes the story this year and we don't have to go through another fucking year of him finishing the story.
Oh, no, because he has to do it at WrestleMania.
You know what really pissed me off? It's not related, but really pissed me off.
Go on.
Is must have been Raw this week, and he's like, Seth's like, this is the real workman's belt. And he's like, I'll think about it. It's like, don't fucking think about it, Cody. You've been going on and on and on and on about one fucking title. Don't fucking change your mind now.
That'll be the funniest thing. After all that, he's like, oh, no, I'll have this fun then. Like,
really? I swear to God.
I guess ultimately it depends on what happens with the whole Rock situation, doesn't it? Maybe they will pivot.
I don't care. It's like storyline wise, I am not going to settle for him finishing the story with the secondary title.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. It's a secondary title.
Like, surely that's not going to happen, but how hilarious would it be, considering he came back and he got like 3 or 4 victories over Seth on the bounce. Now finally he gets backed up with the belt to get his win back. Like,
that was so funny.
Imagine? But so Punky Brewster is not going to be at WrestleMania.
Unfortunate turn of events. But you know what? Fair play to Punk. He's helped building a story. As anyone who's watched Raw this week will understand where I'm coming from there. Mm-hmm. He's helped build another story towards that. What a way to sell what's going on and use it. Yeah. I think, fair play to the man. Fair play.
Exactly. But yeah, if there's one positive that comes out of it, then hopefully it'll be that Drew gets his moment at Mania.
And you're made up with that.
Of course I am. Yeah, of course I am.
It wasn't just Drew wishing for it, was it? I'm willing it.
It was. So yeah, we will see what unfolds. We're obviously speedy recovery to Mr. Phil Brooks, and hopefully we do get to see him back real soon.
Real soon. Speaking of people we might see real soon, Carl. I mean, this is a bit of a non-update, but I want to put it out there. So Mercedes Mone is apparently returning to wrestling soon.
Of course,
but by all accounts, the talks that were originally happening with WWE have broken down somehow. Maybe it was over Monet. So whilst it's not confirmed where she'll be going, I believe she's been back in Japan recently, but her contract with New Japan has in fact expired. She's not signed to any pro wrestling company, but is believed she'll be seen very, very soon, Carl. And the belief currently, and probably previously, and probably after she turns up somewhere fucking else, is that she's going to AEW, probably.
Yeah, well, I mean, they did focus pretty heavily on her during All In.
Yeah. I mean, are we ready to admit that AEW's got a stacked women's roster? Because I feel like people still want to talk shit about AEW, but probably one of the best things about it right now is their women's roster.
Yeah, but there'll be the typical trope of, well, he never books any women's matches. It's like, well, he does, though, to be fair.
Deonna and Taya were featured quite heavily.
Mhm.
Thunder's return featured quite heavily. Toni Storm's an absolute fucking gem every time she's on screen.
Mariah May's starting to get in there now as well.
Just Julia Hart's
Julia Hart,
the run of her life at the moment.
Even Anna Jay, she's not done much for a while, but she's getting back in the ring and stuff a bit now as well. So.
And not only, and this is exactly what people wanted out of AEW, or accusedly always wants out of AEW, is that it's not just legends. You don't just have people there like Saraya and that, and Serena Deeb, who had a fucking fantastic match last week. Right? You also are pushing new talents like Mariah May.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a perfect balance. That's exactly what the men's roster should be. Is what they're doing right now, and people still want to talk shit about the women's roster. Madness.
It is crazy.
Also madness.
But if they do add Mercedes to that roster, then I mean, it's already probably arguably better than WWE's roster anyway. But if you add Mercedes to it as well, then it kind of has to be, doesn't it? I suppose.
There's fighting words to say it's better than WWE's roster. I agree with you, for the record.
Well, no, it is.
But there's plenty of people who'll be like, but what about? I mean, we got like 4 people. Let's be honest.
Well, yeah, it is close, to be fair. It's tough.
It is tough. But which is a great place to be.
Great news for women's wrestling, right?
Indeed.
I mean, let's not knock TNA as well. Obviously, Jordan Grace in the bloody Rumble. Like, how cool is that? So,
indeed.
Women's wrestling's good stuff right now.
It's nice to see it on the platform it's on. In the position it's in. Yeah. So respected now.
Absolutely. Awesome. And Mercedes.
We've always been advocates of women's wrestling.
Coming back to the mix as well, just because of how good it is.
Indeed.
Maybe. Possibly. Because as always with these reports.
Well, sources close to AEW say, who are you? Why are you ringing me?
Yes, they do. So.
I mean, it's not what they said.
No, it's not. No, it isn't what they said, is it? But I'll say that one for another time. This is a bit of an interesting one. Obviously, we're not going to go into the whole stuff that's happened with Vince and the whole lawsuit thing and all that good stuff. But TKO obviously have now essentially, Vince has stepped down. Don't really know what's happened there. But in the document...
I'm not winning this one.
Yeah. It's better to just not say anything at all, right? So...
You say it best.
But in the document that was basically leaked, I guess, around the case...
Is it leaked? Are they public documents?
I don't know, to be fair.
Anyway,
it's made its way into the public eye, Anna. But named in that document...
I mean, what's for damn sure is he did not want anyone seeing them text messages.
No, he did not. Sorry. But yeah, in that document, there's a bit of a reference to Mr. Brock Lesnar in terms of some of these allegations and stuff as well. So it was reported that he was in fact planned to make his return at the Rumble. And of course, that was they decided to nix that last minute for obvious reasons.
Do you think that was the case?
I mean, I don't know. It's their cheats, isn't it?
I mean, you know when you put stuff together and going, I'm hearing some random shit, right? So the Bron Breakker thing, I can well believe, right?
Yeah.
Okay, they filled the gap with Bron, right? It felt more like the Pat McAfee spot was the spot where they had someone who had to back out, but whatever. Right? You go, okay, Bron was the guy who come in and threw everyone around, even though he's considerably shorter and not as intimidating as Brock, but whatever. Just choke on it.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have that, and I go, okay, I can maybe believe that. But now people are talking like, oh yeah, and the original plan was for Brock to fight Dominic Mysterio at the Elimination Chamber. It's like, who fucking wanted that?
Yeah, to be fair.
Who was booking that? I feel like he's just making shit up now.
Well, exactly. The thing with the Bron thing does make sense, because I think, because I thought that originally, like, Pat McAfee, it might be that he's...
Did I say it wrong?
Spot. I think you said McAfee. I don't know what it is. I call him McAfee, you call him McAfee.
You say McAfee. Sorry, go on.
Your coffee. But yeah, so I think it did make sense, because the McAfee spot would have been him seeing Brock and open out and jumping over the ropes, but instead he saw Bron and was like... so I think that was probably still planned.
Who sees Bron and goes, nah, but, you know. So what are you going to do? Go to the gym. Sorry.
Hi, Bron. Anthony gets pummeled on live television. But yeah, so I don't think we're going to be seeing Brock anymore. Now, obviously, this has then led into, well, Brock's now done forever with WWE, because he was coming back for like one final run, I guess. I think people wanted to see Brock versus Gunther at Mania for the IC title.
That would have been cool.
Which would have been cool, let's be honest. But
we're not going to get Brock versus Dom, which is just devastating.
Well, yes. But we're not going to get anything, are we? Let's be honest. No. Because if they're not bringing him back, then it seems like...
I mean, it depends. He might just come back anyway. Let's just start suplexing motherfuckers. Who's going to stop him?
I mean, he might...
You going to stop him?
I am going to stop him. But yeah, so interesting stuff all around. Indeed. But yeah, looks like no Brock.
So, Carl, I don't know. I'm going to pinch of salt this one, but rumor has it. I think it's Uncle Dave. This one, Uncle Dave.
Mm-hmm.
That more AEW stars will be leaving to WWE soon. Obviously, referencing Malachi and Buddy. I don't know if he necessarily referenced Brody King.
No,
but Malachi and Buddy from House of Black. You know, the intimidating action with a guy called Buddy. Absolutely cool faction. Love House of Black. And one of the best things in AEW. So I sincerely hope this isn't true because I really like House of Black. And to be honest, I think their position in AEW would be better than what they get in WWE. And that is subjective. A lot of people think, oh no, you know, but you can't do that with everyone. You can't say everyone who leaves and comes back to WWE is going to get the treatment they deserve.
No.
Because here's a prime example, right? Andrade, El Idolo. Is he just going to throw a strop in a few months when WWE aren't using him in the main events? Because they're not gonna.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Well, like we've been saying, like the main roster's stacked. Like ridiculous.
Fucking stacked.
And fine, Seth's gone down injured, Punk's gone down injured, so it's nice to have other guys around who can step up. But it's just going to be so hard for anyone to...
It's Drew. And people like that. It's not Andrade. All due respect to him, he may end up in, all right, decent shout if he went up for the IC title. Yeah, boss matches, sound. But he's going to come back to the mid-card and didn't leave because he felt like because he was US champ and everything in WWE. Yeah. So he threw a strop and left because he weren't being used right the first time. So...
Yeah,
did he get released? Am I being unfair? I feel like he left.
I mean, he might have been released, but he might have asked for his release.
Yeah. Either way, I'm like, yeah, it's great they've signed him, and that's obviously where he wants to be, and his missus is there. But chances are he's going to be on the mid card again, and then people will be like, "Oh, he's not treating him right," and say, "Yeah, because they're fucking busy and they've got tons of shit to do." So what do they want? Like people are willing this sort of stuff into reality and go, "Oh, you know, yeah, more stars going to WWE. What are they going to do with them?" Seriously?
So you're very sassy. I don't know why. I just like it.
So, well, anyway, going back to the original point. So Dave Meltzer has said that this is definitely probably going to happen, maybe. And Buddy and Malachi, I believe, have both sort of hit back a little bit. They haven't explicitly said no, we're not, but they've kind of hit back at maybe Dave's credibility in news reporting. So who knows, Carl? Who knows? But I sincerely hope, and obviously whatever choice they make is the best choice for them, and I'm sure. But I sincerely hope House of Black carry on in AEW because they're one of the best fucking things there.
Yes, me too. Yeah, it's getting interesting now, isn't it? We had so many people defect from WWE over to AEW, and now it's kind of the reverse, isn't it? To be fair, Andrade, Jade, Cody. Who's next?
Yeah. Well, MJF's going to turn up at the Royal Rumble probably last year.
Definitely. So, yeah, we will see what happens there. Speaking of things we will see and people who have been released by WWE, Mustafa Ali.
Why is he dressed like a politician?
Technically, it's his new gimmick.
Oh, okay.
He's kind of playing like some... I don't really know what you want to call it. He's like trying to make the world a better place with Ali kind of thing. Oh. So he is kind of playing like some kind of politician. But
interesting.
Yeah, so he technically made his debut for TNA. So there was a vignette that aired on Impact this past week. Basically saying that he's coming to TNA. So I don't actually know whether that means he is signed with the company and like he's been doing like the world tour at the minute, hasn't he? Like he's rocking up in Progress, he's in GCW, he's basically everywhere. So I don't know what the deal will be there, whether or not he's still able to work the indies and do other promotions, or whether they're going to kind of
they're quite good with the deals like that, to be fair.
Yeah, but obviously another big move for TNA. You know, I like to see it. Obviously got Nick Nemeth and Mustafa Ali, and you're kind of wondering like who's next? Who else is going to rock up?
I love how weirdly there's a world where like these guys could sign with a smaller promotion and end up on WWE TV just for considerably less money.
Yeah, that's
thanks WWE.
It's kind of fascinating, really.
That being said, for some reason, and like this is no slight to Jordan Grace when I say this, but for some reason WWE are like they're big on doing this spot like they did with. Because everyone's acting like, oh, it's a mad if they broke down. Like, you know, Triple H didn't want to reference doors because being a dick. But, like, everyone's acting like it was such a unique thing to happen with Jordan. And it was amazing seeing it. But it's like, well, you did this last time with Mickey, so we've breached that gap before. And that's cool, and it sounds like it's going to be a bigger deal. But they never do it with the men's division for some reason.
Yeah. We can't talk about this. I don't want to slate the TNA men's division, but I don't know who you would...
I mean, I suppose that's the thing, is like they've seen a natural sort of pairing, haven't they? Like with Jordan. Like they put her in there, and it's like, well, there's loads of sort of options, but she's a powerhouse, and there's loads of options, and they obviously alluded to some in the Rumble itself. So maybe that it just felt more of a natural sort of thing. Whereas, like right now, especially with the way the main event scene is, it's like, yeah, it's pretty fucking stacked actually.
Yeah,
it's quite heavily stacked actually. So maybe that's where it is. But I just find it interesting. It's like, you know, I joke about these guys rocking up on WWE TV, but it seems whatever relationship got TNA is probably more focused on the women's division, which is a great way of bolstering the women's division.
It's interesting. Because like, I mean, you could have like Josh Alexander or Moose or somebody. You could bring them over, but yeah, I just don't know whether it'd have the same reaction because
have the same impact.
I'm actually made up that Jordan Grace got the reaction she did because with Mickey, obviously she'd been in the WWE, so everyone was like, "Oh, Mickey's back." Whereas, like, for someone who's never been with that company or had any affinity
it shows you how popular she got.
Yeah.
Like, independently. And I say independently, no disrespect to TNA, but obviously these are, like, there's a lot of casual fans in the audience that have still reacted, so they're obviously aware of it through, I don't know, social medias in some way, you know, or YouTube or various different ways you can find it, do you know what I mean? But it's great to see she's transcending companies.
Absolutely. So, yeah, who knows? Maybe we'll see Mustafa Ali make his way into WWE one day.
Maybe.
Again. But yeah, good news for him.
Indeed. Speaking of good news, Carl, WWE official, well, PW Insider has reported that WWE officials, or potentially is it TKO technically officials? I'm going to apologise to anyone watching or listening because I'll be doing this all night.
And we're not editing. We're not editing this stuff. You just have to listen.
So WWE, if you edited it, then it'd just be me randomly pausing all the time. At least they know I'm coughing right now.
Yeah.
So WWE officials are hopeful in the wake of the whole Vince McMahon situation to possibly bring back Stephanie McMahon in some sort of power position. All due respect to Steph, because she did a great job by all accounts when she was there. I just don't understand why.
Yeah.
Like, from their position, wouldn't it be safer not to have any McMahons there right now?
I mean, to be fair,
because it's only going to people asking the question. People are already doing it at Triple H.
Yeah.
People hassling the fuck out of Triple H going, you must have known, you're his son-in-law. So it just feels like in an attempt to distance yourself by, you know, have him release himself. He definitely released himself. They didn't encourage that. Like, it's kind of strange to me, but I'm sure she'd do a great job. And I still find it super interesting that essentially the rebels of the Attitude Era are the ones running WWE now. It's kind of fucking metal. But so it may or may not happen. They haven't really suggested that she's keen on doing so, but you know, the interest is there to bring her back.
Yeah, and I think just on that point as well, like we saw Ronda Rousey was basically coming after Bruce Pritchard, wasn't she? Saying,
interestingly,
obviously he's like Vince has still got his ear kind of thing, so while he's still in the company, then Vince is still making decisions as far as she's concerned. So yeah, it's an interesting one.
You wonder,
go down this
because her time in WWE was very recent. You know, considerably when Vince was probably not around all that much. So for those sort of, you wonder what impact he's had on the business while she was there for her to make that sort of comment, to be fair.
Yeah, indeed.
Madness.
So yeah, that be the news once again this week. What are your thoughts on CM Punk getting injured and missing WrestleMania? Who do you want to see go up against Seth Rollins instead? Let us know in the comments. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we will catch you on the next one.